Hello, people. Welcome to episode 19 of Premier League Khanage. And yes, I finally remembered the episode number. Thank you, Noor. So, yeah, honestly, I know Grizz always getting on to me about the episode numbers. But yeah, episode 19, I can't lie. That's mad. We're doing so many episodes already. Let's get this comment in here from Omar. Go well, boys. Does that make sense? Omar, is English, is that your go well, boys? Does that make sense?
I think he might be down a few pints or so at this stage.
Yeah, go well. Go on, bro. I don't know what you're trying to say there, but cool. We appreciate your comment. We appreciate your comment 100%. But yeah, man, Noor, how you doing? Been keeping up with the football. Obviously, I'm stressed right now, but how you been?
Yeah, no, I've been good, man. The Liverpool results have actually turned around. I've been feeling good. I got loads of questions for you today, though, about your beloved team Arsenal and the confidence you exude, and now displaying a different emotion.
Yeah, man, I know. We'll get into it 100%. Sani, how you doing? I know life has got you busy as well, but football-wise, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It was a big win for us on Sunday. I wasn't looking forward to that game, truth be told, but a win is a win. We're the famous Man United were off to Wembley again. Massive game on the 3rd of June, as Michael is aware. Another trophy in the bag. An opportunity to, stop the treble. Huge game. And then, of course, tomorrow, I know Noor's mentioned it. Obviously, big game for you, Bilal. You'll be on the toilet for about 8 hours on that day, I'm pretty sure. It's a huge game, and I can't wait to get into it for sure.
Yeah, man, 100%. I know Michael's having a good time. Football, basketball, I don't know. Everything I'm seeing looking positive, man. How you doing?
It's looking good. It's looking good. Obviously, with football, it's been good. Obviously, Sunday was a very stressful day for me. My FA Cup and the playoffs overlapped. It was a very stressful hour, but both my teams won probably for the first time ever in my life. Now, it's been good. Man United, obviously, the Sevilla game was a big hit, but we bounced back with the FA Cup against Brighton. So, like Sonny said, June 3rd. If anyone wants to stop this treble, might as well do it ourselves. That's the best way to stop that treble. They want to break our record, they got to beat us for it. So, that's fair enough. And then, yeah. Life's been good. And obviously tomorrow, I'm supporting Arsenal. I'll say that from now. So you better not let me down tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. I expect certain players to step up. Number 9, step up for your team, please.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that guy can step up. But yeah, let's see. Algo Wapo, hopefully I pronounced that right, bro. He said Arsenal crowned champions all year. It's looking sticky. Yeah, man, it's looking sticky. Evening, gentlemen. Dinesh says here, hope you all enjoyed your day. I think we all had a decent day. And of course, Pixelated Pigeon here saying, evening all, smash the like button. Yes, thank you for reminding me as well to say that. Smash the like button. Obviously, we're bringing you content well as much as we can. And now, Ramadan's done, everything done, back to normal. Title race, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy right now. And yeah, Omar here saying, he's getting, okay, saying, bro, it's like saying, have a good one. Yeah, I understood it, but it sounds a bit, it sounds go well. I don't know, it sounds a bit off. But yeah, I understood what you meant. 100%.
It sounds a bit unclish, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds a bit like it sounds like something, I don't know, it's maybe someone up north would say, or like someone from, I know, but he's not. Listen, you know what I mean, or from the 18th century, like, oh well, my dear son. But you know, like an old person. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But and then Ben here saying, big up, lads. But yeah, guys, let's just get into the first games of today, and that is Villa. Wow. Again, like these guys are, we're saying UCL here, yeah? Is that what we're feeling, Sani? UCL? Is that what you think?
I'm from the city of Birmingham. I've got to represent somewhat of a team that's doing well. So, why not? One can dream. The one that ate the European Cup in 1982. Who knows? Dare to dream. I know they're not Spurs, but dare to dream.
Sani, I just got to ask a question. Do you consider Birmingham North? I know this is so random. Like, do you consider Birmingham North? Or because I've gone to Birmingham, it's quite close to it. It's not like, it's like obviously the Midlands, midpoint. I don't know. I don't consider it the North.
I personally don't, but for everyone that's watching, a lot of the viewers are probably from London. Anything north of the M25 is considered North. So let's be honest, it probably is the North. I mean, we're not in the Game of Thrones or anything, so it's not the North. But yeah, no, it's the Midlands. Bilal, you know your geography, probably Noor. I mean, Michael is not from England; he's from across the pond. But I guess like maybe you could say Midwest is where Birmingham is.
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I remember, the Todd Bowley stuff about doing an all-star game in England, and then people did like teams, and everyone put Villa, all of these Birmingham teams, like north, like in the north team, not the south team. Obviously, I know they got to pick one. I think it's because of the accent. To be honest, we're gonna say up north. Yeah.
You don't
It's one of them ones. You know what I mean? But yeah, Villa again, man, beating Fulham 1-0. I don't know who caught much of this game. I was obviously watching the Leeds Leicester game mostly, but they're just going from strength to strength. Like Nora, you've been impressed with the way Villa have been doing things. And another question is: Unai Emery a shout for manager of the season? Because what he's done is nuts.
it is nuts, but I think because he's had like half of the season, there's other managers that will probably go up there, like the Zerbi, maybe Arteta. I heard of him, but yeah, he's done a fantastic job, honestly. Um, Aston Villa to get them from where Steven Gerrard, and I hate to say it, where Steven Gerrard left them, and to bring them to in contention for European spots and maybe even a Champions League spot. It's incredible, and he's always been an underrated manager. The guy, once he gets to work, he can perform. At Arsenal, I remember that he was really good, but I don't think the Arsenal fans took to him well, personality wise. Maybe I don't know what it was, but he was close to finishing fourth for Arsenal and winning the Europa. So it would have been a good season for Arsenal at that time. But he just needed time somewhere he belonged. And after seeing Aston Villa, give Steven Gerrard's like a good transfer kitty, hopefully they can do that for him and see what type of team he can produce next season.
Yeah, 100%. Villa, as we know, their owners have a lot of money, man. So they're gonna back the team like heavily. But Michael, are you impressed with the likes of like Mings? He's got the goal obviously today, but also his general play. Like he was someone who looked like he was dead and buried. Like I think him and Gerrard were enemies at one point. Like they didn't get along at all. And all of a sudden he's back in the team. He's leading everything. Like the England shouts are coming back again. Are you impressed with him and just obviously Villa in general?
I mean, for Tyrone Mings, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say it's more Unai Emery than Tyrone Mings. I think Unai Emery gets the best out of his players. He maximizes their talent. I've seen him do. We saw at Villarreal, that team had no business being in a Champions League semifinal, but he took them there, and we all see where they are now without him. So I just think it's more.
Look, Michael cut up there.
Unai Emery doesn't get the best out of Michael Griggs, that's for sure.
Yeah, the New York internet is doing a madness. Omar here, like, bro, Emery getting Arteta. Come on, man. Come on, calm down. But yeah, Michael, get back to you before I get into funny.
My has been moving mad the last couple of days, but nah, I just think Unai Emery. But I think this squad is also really young. Like Jacob Ramsey, that's a phenomenal talent. I've seen a lot of people say that. What can Jude Bellingham give you that Jacob Ramsey doesn't? I've heard that debate on Twitter the last couple weeks or something. That's just something to throw out there. John McGinn, Ram, that's weird, but fair enough. It's just Unai Emery. He's cooked at every club pretty much, except Arsenal, which kind of makes you think that Arsenal were the problem, not Unai Emery.
Oh,
Michael's Wi-Fi is the problem. Forget about Unai Emery at Arsenal. Bloody hell.
Yeah, look, but honestly, this Emery chat, I've heard it a few times. What it is with Arsenal, I think I've had it. I spoke to Grizz about this maybe months ago when he was coming in and doing well. At Arsenal, Emery was like every day was chop and change, half-time substitutions, which sometimes we cry out for when Arteta doesn't do it right now, like make a sub, right? But when you're at Arsenal, it's a bit of a weird one. You can't be doing those kind of things. You can't be chopping and changing all the time. You have to play a certain way. You have to imprint your identity in the team, because if you don't, right, you're just going to get found out or run over by the players, by the fans. Like, you got to actually come in and stamp your authority. And that's what he didn't do at Arsenal. And that's the reason at the end that he failed, unfortunately. But for me, like, he's a top manager, and I'm happy to see him doing well, at Villa. You saw what he did at Villarreal. You saw what he's done at Sevilla. You saw what he did at PSG. Yes, it didn't end well as well there. And the players, again, the big personalities kind of got on top of him. But at the end of the day, when you give him a team that is willing to maybe fight, especially for those Europa League spots, he a team that's willing to, be patient with him. You can see what he's, willing to do. I don't know in the future, maybe if he can get a bigger job. Let's say like a Chelsea one day came up, right? And Chelsea are back in the Champions League and pushing for something. Maybe would he suit that kind of team then? I'm not so sure. But the likes of your Villas, your Villarreals, your Sevillas, those teams where he can really put himself, first and foremost, as the main guy, I think, yeah, he's doing really well there. But Michael's anything else you want to say as well on the, because talking about Jacob Ramsey, Emery?
No, yeah, but I actually want to add with that Chelsea thing. I actually think Unai Emery, like we've seen how he won at Arsenal, which for me was always a wrong move because Arsenal, the first thing they want from the manager is pretty football. It has to be easy on the eyes. That's like the number one rule at Arsenal. Emery's football isn't always the easiest on the eyes of people, so I get that. But I think Chelsea, he fits the mold at Chelsea because the football doesn't have to be pretty at Chelsea. They just win at all costs, and I think Unai Emery's the kind of manager that wins at all costs. We've seen him at every single club, so I think. Maybe I think that's the only top club where he can make the move to, where it'll make sense for him. Otherwise, he should stay at Villa because, like Bilal mentioned, their owners are rich. They have a good academy, and he can maximize them to a top 5 team, which I think Aston Villa will be perfectly happy with being a top team for a consistent run of years. Kind of how Everton were under David Moyes. I think Emery can have that, and I don't think any Villa fan will complain because the alternative is being in a relegation battle with Steven Gerrard. So.
Yeah, just look at this comment here because I just wanted to mention this as well. It's like Arsenal players and fans obviously took the out of Emery, right? And for me, I wouldn't say it's Arsenal fans. I would say it was the media, not just Arsenal fans, like making fun of him. I don't really think Arsenal fans really made fun of Emery for saying good evening.
But they didn't defend him. That's the thing. They didn't defend him.
But
usually, you'll get like a team will get if it's a Liverpool, they become defensive with their manager and try and back him all the way. Arsenal didn't do that. That's the problem, and there was a disconnect there. And so, I don't know if they took to him, and I don't know. You're the prime person.
It's one of those ones. Why would Arsenal fans want to defend Emery? Because most of us wanted him to get sacked at one stage. There's one of those ones like whatever's gonna get him out was gonna get him out, and that's unfortunately the reality.
Yeah.
But I think the media in this country, especially when he started, he's trying to speak a new language. He didn't even know English like at all when he came to Arsenal. He was trying to instead of like embracing. I was impressed with him in his first press conference because he came trying to speak the language, trying to get his point across, even though he really couldn't. It might have been better. Like Poch did it. Bielsa did it when they have a translator next to them. When you have a translator, you speak in Spanish, nobody's going to say anything. But the moment you start speaking English and, the media start getting a little bit of something out of you, and maybe, let's be honest, he was naive. He's coming to Arsenal. Maybe he thought he's going to try to speak English. And even if it doesn't work out, nobody's going to say anything. But once the media is on top of you, a team like Arsenal was one of those ones, just a snowball. And I don't think he could control it at one point.
And it was probably unfortunate to follow Arsenal's greatest ever manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Arsenal, so it wasn't easy.
Yeah, 100%. Sani, was anything else you wanted to add as well?
Good evening. No, literally, that was that. I was just going to add that point that I think Emery did have it tough coming after Arsene Wenger. Now, I'm not saying Arsenal fans expected the league as soon as Wenger went, but it got really toxic at the end of Arsene Wenger's tenure. So when it got to the stage when Emery came in, Arsenal fans were thinking, "Oh my God, we got a new change." And Moyes had the same issue when Fergie left. A lot of our fans thought, "Okay, we still can compete," but it wasn't necessarily the case. And to be fair, to Emery's defense, he did get you guys to Europa League final, which a lot of people probably didn't really fancy. He done all right in what he's done. And back to Villa, just before we move on. I mean, Fulham only had one shot all game. Never mind on target. Villa are very, very airtight at the moment. They play with that double pivot of Luiz and Dendoncker, which is very, very solid. It might not be the most adventurous, but it does give them the platform. And that's what Emery's all about. Because Michael mentioned it earlier. They might not be the best on the eye, but at home, they will have chances. And with Ollie Watkins, who's in the form of his life at the moment, they've always got an opportunity. And listen, I know Michael might mention Chelsea. I still think Emery should stick at Villa for a little bit longer. Maybe Chelsea come in. Maybe Chelsea come in and maybe you can't say no to a Chelsea job. But then the other problem is a manager like Emery does deserve time at a club. Will he be afforded time at Chelsea? Probably not. But if you look at Villa, I remember growing up, they had a very good team under Martin O'Neill. They were always challenging for European spaces. At one stage, they nearly made the top 4, but they didn't have the depth that got them through to the top 4. I don't think they'll make the top 4 this season. But listen, football's a weird thing and stranger things have happened. I'm not even on about the show. I'm on about football, the beautiful game, because listen, anything can happen. But shout out Unai Emery. Fantastic job at Villa. Fantastic manager. And it's great to see a Midland club raising and restoring the pride that is the Midlands, not the North.
Yeah. One point you made, Sani, that I just want to touch on was on Ollie Watkins, because Ollie Watkins, since the World Cup, I think he scored similar amount of goals to Erling Haaland. You know, I think he's up there with the top goal scorers in the Premier League. Like Man United fans, obviously Sani and Michael. Is that someone you would like in your squad? I'm not saying to start every week, but like, would you want someone like that in your squad to have as a profile? So yeah, Sani and Michael. Michael take that first.
I rate his profile, but for the price that Villa would command for him for backup, nah.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, would he be willing to be a backup option? Again, I don't know. I mean, he got 14 goals in his first season at Villa, then he had 11, then he's got 14 this season. He's in, like you said, great form since the World Cup. I think he'd be good for Chelsea. I really do think he'd be good for someone like Chelsea. Him or Tony is the kind of profile that actually Chelsea would love and I think would suit them. I think for us, bench option maybe, but then if we're going to keep him on the bench, I know people might not agree with me on this, but just keep Martial if you're going to keep him on the bench, because Martial's not going to play every week. Why would Ollie Watkins? Why are we going to spend 50, 60 million on a striker that we're going to keep on the bench when he really could be getting a lot more goals for us? So I probably wouldn't get Ollie Watkins, but you know, stranger things have happened, like I said.
Yeah. Noor, I was just going to ask you quickly because I've got the table up here and I'm looking at Liverpool, I'm looking at Villa, I'm looking at Europa League. Are you worried in any way? Because even Brighton obviously still in the mix. Tottenham, regardless, are still going to be in the mix. Are you worried that you won't finish in the either 5th or 6th this season?
No, I think because of it being a United versus City FA Cup final, I think there's an extra spot available. Because if United and City obviously make the Champions League, then there'll be that extra spot available via the league. So I'm not too worried, to be honest. If we miss out on Europe, it is what it is. If it's not Champions League, it's not like something I'm really, really concerned about. So, yeah, I think we'll get a European spot, whether it's the Conference League or Europa, and I hope it's Europa rather than the Conference.
Yeah, no one wants to finish. Was it 7th if you get Europa, right? Conference, sorry.
Yeah.
Who wants to finish? That's like the death position. Honestly, that is a position where why would you either finish 8th or finish 5th or 6th? Because 7th, that's unless you're like Brighton or something. But if you're Liverpool, you don't want to be playing Conference League. That is pure trenches. That's just honestly so sad. But yeah, just wanted to touch on the other big game today, which was Leeds versus Leicester, because I was just intrigued by this game. Like these are two teams for me who are like they're so bad at one point. Like, at some stage, right? Leeds and Leicester. Well, Leeds recently, you've seen what's been happening to them, but Leicester as well throughout the season have been so leaky at the back, so weak, right? And at one stage, obviously, Leeds were winning. That would have been honestly monumental 3 points. If they had won today, I don't know. It could have been enough to keep them up in my eyes because that sort of win would have been out of nowhere. But Leicester again showing their quality. Maddison, Iheanacho, Vardy, with the goal like that. Yeah, up front they still got guys to get them out of it. I don't know, Sani. What you got? Who do you think is even going down in the first place? I'll get the table up because it's just crazy at this point.
No, it is crazy. Anybody can go down. I mean, I know people have watched Forrest Gump and the famous quote is life's like a box of chocolates because you don't know what you're going to get. This relegation battle is exactly the same. You don't know which team's going to go down. I mean, if I had to choose, I think Southampton are going down. I mean, right now they're bottom, 24 points. I just can't see them getting out of it. I know it's only 5 points to 17th, which is, where you're going to be safe, but I just can't see it. And I did think that either one of Leicester or Leeds would go down, and I think Leeds are going to be the one to go down. Their fixtures coming up are not favourable at all. They've got Man City away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, and Spurs at home. Ironically, the only game that probably looks winnable was probably Spurs at home, which is crazy because they're an absolute shambles, right? So that's not really an easy run-in if we're being truthful. And then if I had to choose another team, I said Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, but, they've been picking up results. They could still get dragged into it. But then if I'm looking at the table, probably Forest. They concede a hell of a lot of goals, 59 goals conceded. They don't score a lot. They're on an awful patch of form. So if I had to choose, I think Forest and Leeds United, two huge clubs, I must say, along with Southampton.
You're on mute.
Thank you for that.
I left him speechless. That's what it was. I left him speechless after that monologue.
Luckily, I didn't even say anything because I'm just looking at that table. I'm confused, man. I've got myself on mute. But honestly, do you think, Michael, like, who do you think? Do you agree with Sani in terms of the teams that are going to go get relegated, or do you think Leeds can maybe somehow, stay up with that
Nah, that team's good.
run of fixtures?
Nah, that team's bad. That team's just bad, bro. Patrick Bamford as your striker, nah, it's over. It's time to start learning championship, man. Nah, man. That miss was atrocious. He's actually had probably the worst striker season I've ever seen in the Premier League. He's missed like 15. That might be the worst one. All right, second worst. But the amount of big chances that he's missed, I think he's missed like 20 big chances and he only has like 1 goal. That's an atrocious record for a striker. This guy was scoring 20 goals in lockdown, which makes you kind of think that bubble season wasn't real. But no, I just think they're going down. I agree with him on Southampton as well. That last one is Forest. I think will end up being Forest. But all I'm saying is, if Chelsea don't win their next 2 games, which by the way are relegation 6-pointers, they're gonna get dragged in this race. So Frank Lampard, time to do some coaching. That's all I'm gonna say. But I agree with Sani. Those are the 3 teams I think are going down.
Yeah, man. Noor, anything else do you want to echo in terms of that relegation battle? Because for me, I look at it 1 week, it's looking, like a simple mathematics, and you get Leeds winning, you're like, oh no, this is changing everything. Then next minute it's just something else. I don't know.
Yeah. The way I'm looking at it is basically because obviously my club are a bit cheap in it, so I'm looking at it. Who can we pick off as soon as they get relegated? So I'm thinking if I see Southampton, there's a few players there. I would love Everton to go down and never. Hang on, guys. Let me just switch that off.
Allahu Akbar. That's
God is great. God is great for sure. But just whilst Noura's gone, I'm just like looking at the fixtures, right? There are some huge fixtures. So like on Thursday, right? You've got Southampton versus Bournemouth in the South Coast Derby. That's a huge point. If Southampton don't win that game, I think they're probably gone. Because they've still got us to play, Michael. They've still got Chelsea to play. Whether Chelsea have been shit or not, that's not really an easy game. They got Palace away as well. Forest, they've got Brighton tomorrow. That's a huge game. Then they got Brentford, then Southampton. So the next 3 games, ideally, Forest, I think, need to get at least 7 points. Because then they've got Chelsea away, Arsenal home, Palace away. And as for Southampton, like I said, Thursday is a must-win game. Because out of all the teams, they do have a nicer run-in. Because they still have the likes of Forest to play away. They have Fulham at home. They have a few home games. But this game on Thursday is crucial. Because if Bournemouth win this, I think Bournemouth are safe. So a huge game. And Leeds as well. That point that they got today, they face Bournemouth on Sunday, which is a humongous game.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, Noor made a great point about like what players you want to pick off, because it's weird enough that Southampton, for me, are the bottom team. They're 20th. They've been rock bottom. But out of everyone's squad, out of the relegation candidates, I think Southampton's might be the most attractive in terms of players you want to get. Like,
they got the young ones.
Exactly. Alcaraz looks good. The centre backs.
Jesus Christ,
Oh yeah, pause. They got all the good young players. They got all the good young players. They got all the good young players.
BBC with Mr. Jimmy.
Pause.
I just realized he should have said pause. It's true, but think about it. Like, this is the testament to the Premier League, the strength of it. Like the amount of really good players in every squad in the relegation zone. It's absolutely mind-boggling, because usually, like a couple of years ago, you would think like nobody would be even looking at relegation for players. But right now, there's plenty of teams with like 1 or 2 players that can be picked off.
Yeah,
for the top 6 teams actually as well.
It's opportunity there. Like, Lavia is going to be the one I think everyone's fighting for if Southampton get relegated. I don't know. Chelsea seemed to be the team leading that race earlier on.
Chelsea hype, man.
Chelsea actually tried. You know what they did, didn't it?
They tried to buy him the week after, bro. They tried to buy him the week after. Nah, Treble ain't a real man. That ain't a real person, man. I'm telling you that.
Holy man, you gotta give it to him, man. This guy is absolutely crazy, mad guy.
Yeah, no, Lavia, bro, he's a beast. What he did to Arsenal, we'll get into that at some point in this show as well. Like, crazy player. But I just want to touch on quickly on Man United getting into the FA Cup final. And Michael, how did you fluke this one? I was watching.
First of all, fluke is a very strong word. We shut them down for after like the 60th. Once Fred came on and we started actually pressing, we turned the game into our hands, in my opinion. First 60 minutes, they were much better, but even then, we still created decent chances. But it was a team that looked tired from the Thursday game. Obviously, that was a kind of a hardening loss. So a couple injuries. Bruno's not injured, but he obviously felt something in that game. Otherwise, he would have never gotten subbed off because that guy would play 120 minutes every other day of the day if he could, because he loves playing that much. But that was a good performance. The back four.
It's gone again.
And he's gone. But yeah, I think it's talking about the back four. Sonny, were you impressed with that? Well, happy with that defense? Oh, Michael,
I think
he's coming back.
I think
you
he's
can answer.
Well, I love him.
But
Yeah, David De Gea is something he tried to shut my. I was about to cuss him, and he shut down my internet.
Yeah, the internet, man. De Gea, he's not letting you rest. New contract. We'll get into that in a second as well.
Oh, there we go.
Sonny,
yeah. Look at this guy, bro. I'm telling you.
Michael, you there? Yeah.
Should I talk with Sonny? Go.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Michael, you talk now. Talk about the defense. Talk about Shaw, Lindelof. Happy with that?
Yeah. The back four was impeccable. Lindelof, probably he was the man that deserves to score that winning pen because he was the man of the match. Just an amazing performance. Luke Shaw, I know if I could always show to my left center back. I've seen him pocket Haaland. I've seen him pocket Lewandowski in the Europa League, so I could trust him. Wan-Bissaka, I tweeted this. Mitoma's dissertation did not account for Wan-Bissaka defending. It did not account for it. He has to go back into the lab, do a whole new hypothesis for Wan-Bissaka defending. I'm sure he's doing that right now, but that was an amazing performance by Wan-Bissaka. Dalot sliding out left back. If people don't know, he played that at Milan when he went on loan, so he's very comfortable playing the left back role. So I thought they were good. Our midfield was okay. Our attack was kind of weak. And Marcus Rashford, for me, is not fit, and he's also not a left winger. I think the sooner Erik ten Hag plays him at striker, the better it'll be for Marcus Rashford, because before the penalty, he was anonymous to me. Maybe the last 10 minutes, he had a couple shots. He looked a little more lively, but he just wasn't that good for me on there.
That's mad. Do you actually think then if Rashford should be a long-term centre forward, that means maybe Man United go for a left winger, like a Mitoma maybe, and not go for that big Osimhen type striker in the summer?
Well, it's interesting because we have two other left wingers that can handle the load from Rashford. Garnacho, young star, and we have Jadon Sancho who can maybe contribute something. I'm hoping maybe next year's the year. Third time to charm, as they say. Maybe 3 years of charm. But I've liked the Sancho, Rashford, Anthony front three has kind of moved me every time we played. I think we've won pretty much every single time. So
yeah, Sani, any thoughts on that as well? Rashford, were you impressed with him? I know for me, he looks like he's injured. Looks like what happened when Ollie was there. Ollie was running him into the ground. You could see the guy was struggling, maybe being brought back a bit too early. But long-term future for Rashford, do you think it's up front or do you think it's on the left still?
I would say it's on down the middle as well. I agree with Michael. The problem on the left is he doesn't have that creative spark that like a Saka has. He relies on, obviously, his pace and getting in behind. And can you imagine us having a striker doing that? Because right now, that is the one issue that we have. Like Weghorst, for example, I know he didn't play this game, but he can't do that. Martial isn't fit enough for him to do that. The problem with Rashford on the wing is he can get dispossessed very easily. When he doesn't get a goal, he isn't really into the game. And I get that we might not be playing that way, but Anthony, for example, he doesn't necessarily have the searing pace that a Rashford has, but he can be a lot more involved because he has those capabilities and technical ability, whereas Rashford lacks that. But this game, in general, I mean, Michael hit the nail on the head. Our defense, we were going into this game, everybody wrote us off. But what's the old saying for Man United? Hated, adored, but never ignored. And that's exactly what this game was all about. Because everyone was like, Brighton are going to walk all over us. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. But the thing is, when it came to it, they just couldn't get the job done. It's like there's a certain scientific diagnosis that can come up. It's called premature ejaculation. I'm not going to finish it off, but, I let people... And that's exactly what Brighton were doing this game. They were getting very, very close to our box. The final ball wasn't good enough, or they were overhitting something, they were underhitting something. And it wasn't like... Don't get me wrong, De Gea made a few decent saves, but overall, they didn't really threaten us. I ain't saying we were threatening them either, but the way people were talking about Brighton and De Zerbi, and even the way he was talking about after the game, if we look at it, did they deserve to win? Maybe, but they didn't, because we're Manchester United and we're off to Wembley again. I can't wait. I'm so happy. It's great to see that Shaw and Lindelof actually had a centre-back partnership, because like Michael alluded to, we have no fit centre-backs, and I don't think Harry Maguire is going to be playing this season again, in my opinion. And if we do, there are going to be some uncomfortable conversations for Erik ten Hag because I don't think we win that game. But let's see.
Yeah, no. Nora, what are your thoughts on this game? Did you think Brighton were unlucky? Because for me, obviously, the bench wasn't looking great. Evan Ferguson was a big miss for me. And then when they bring that Undav guy, that was a hole of shame. Like FA Cup semi-final, yeah, get in the bin, man. But
Lights got bright. Lights got bright.
too bright for him. Too bright.
Yeah, the issue with Brighton is like these type of occasions, sometimes it takes a little bit more than just knowing how to play the game a certain way. There's a lot of mental involved here. Man United, obviously, they've got players that's been there, done that, and Brighton here it's a learning curve for them. Like they've accounted themselves well. Like Mitoma, as Michael said, mate, Mitoma was shut down by ABW. However, it's an opportunity for him to learn from that, how to break down someone as good as ABW in one-on-one defending. So Brighton, their future's bright, man. Their future's bright. It's just that they didn't have that second win to go after all things were shut down by United. However, if they get like someone to a little bit better than Welbeck to threaten them, Lindelof had a pretty easy game dealing with Welbeck, but Ferguson would have been a big issue and would have been a really good test for him to see how he comes up against Man United and against a massive game at Wembley. However, it wasn't meant to be, and maybe it was fate for United to eat a treble the hands of Man City.
Yeah, it's honestly now it's primed. Like Man United, if looks likely to be honest. So what happened to Real Madrid today? But Real Madrid, they always get
La Liga hype, bro. Hey, La Liga hype, man.
They're not serious. We know what they're like. UCL, all of a sudden they start.
That doesn't get their blood. That doesn't get their blood going. Girona, what?
Yeah,
no, man.
These guys are not there. They're weird. We'll see what they do. But Man City, let's say, they can wrap up the Prem, they can wrap up the Champions League, and it's Man United. Well, who can stop them?
FA Cup's the middle one, right?
FA Cup's
the middle one. All right, so they're gonna win the league. If they win the league, that's before that. Then it's FA Cup and then Champions League. Right,
Champions League. So yeah, you can give them that dent before that potential Champions League final. Let's not get too carried away.
Yeah.
But you know what team can't get carried away right now? I'm hearing that they're paying back their fans. They think I forgot. We'll get into my team, but we have to touch on, the other side of North London and the history of the Tottenham. I don't know what's the point of these guys existing. At this point, for me, they should just fold. Give us Harry Kane. There's only room for one weird team in North London. Just let us be. And then you guys just pack up your bags. But damn, I've never seen something like this. Five, was it 21 minutes?
Yeah.
Isaac celebration. Isaac celebration on the fifth goal was like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? But yeah, man, it was crazy. Noor, I don't know if you want to just start with this one. Like, how can you explain this? It's not tactical. I don't know. What's wrong with these Tottenham players? Let's just start with that. What's wrong with these Tottenham players?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Tottenham are that team that, as you said, like, why are they even in the conversation as a big team? Just because they've got a big stadium now, and they did well against Pochettino. They did well with Pochettino. However, it's a team that constantly lets their fans down. Constantly. I've never seen a team that absolutely eats at the soul of their own fan base. Because if I was a Tottenham fan, I don't know, I think I'll stop watching football. Because, honestly, because this team, so much potential at one point, and then they just let you down. Like they finished fourth last season, beat Arsenal to it. For what reason? You should have given that to Arsenal, and Arsenal would have absolutely, would have seen how these young players would have handled the Champions League and the Premier League. But as you said, man, I don't know with what's his name? The guy that said the history of the Tottenham. What was it?
Chiellini
was, I don't know, maybe he the Roman, the Greek philosophers at that time probably had it written down somewhere on some sort of stone. The history of the Tottenham is one that is absolutely does not exist. Spurs absolutely folded to Newcastle. Newcastle absolutely. I could not believe it. Honestly, 21 minutes. I was thinking, what the hell is going on? Have they literally stopped playing football? Have they stopped? Did they give up on the spot? And they did. Honestly, these guys were like, as Conte's assistant was left. I don't know how that decision was made, and so these guys are just throwing the towel and just giving up from a decent position to go and kick on and try and get that fourth position. And they deserve what they get because they refuse to back Pochettino financially, and then they go and hire Mourinho and splash money for him, and then splash money for Conte, and now you've got like a team full of like 3 different managers, players, and they're all over the place, honestly.
Yeah, listen, just talking about why we're not playing four at the back, mate. Well, this is the reason. I don't know. These defenders at Tottenham, they're talking to me about Romero, telling me he's better than this and that. I'm like, yo, every time I've seen this guy, he is like Argentinian Mustafi. This is what he's on. You know what I mean? But Son, you're just gonna ask, is this the end of Tottenham as a so-called labeled Big Six club? Because over the years they've been put in that bracket, and I think that's mainly down to Arsenal being crap, Man United being crap, and Tottenham was somewhat having a bit of a rise. And the media, they have to hype things up. And Tottenham at one stage, they were doing pretty well, finished second. That Battle of the Bridge, all of that sort of stuff. They had their moment. They had Champions League final. They got close. But is this the end of them? Have Newcastle now said, yeah, go away. We're Big Six now.
I don't know. But the only reason I'm thinking that is because one season doesn't really define you as if you're a Big Six club or not. It's because of how consistent they have been over the last couple of seasons. Yes, I know what you're saying about how Arsenal have been shit, we've been shit. But then next season, there's no guarantee that Chelsea are going to be good. And that is going to be a reason why Spurs could still make the Big Six, top six, whatever you want to call them. You're right in saying Newcastle are going to be a threat. They're a huge threat. I mean, let's be honest. They ran a train on Spurs on Sunday. 6 carriages, right? Locomotive, express train. You call it a bullet train, an old steam train, whatever you want to call it. It was horrendous. Like, I got love for Spurs because whenever Man United are having a shit season, you can always look to Spurs as being the shitter team. But the thing is, that game was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. For a big team with big aspirations to go to Newcastle. Yes, Newcastle is a very tough place. They've only lost 1 game at home all season. They've only conceded 8 goals. But to see that happen is just a disgrace. And what you're saying does have weight to it. Losing like this, not even potentially making the top. They might not even make Europa League the way they're going because they still have us to play, like I said. Tomorrow, they've still got Liverpool away. They've got Villa away. There's some hard games there for Spurs. And it's not like you can definitely see them winning those games. So they might even just drop out the Europa League. And to think they're going to be back in the Conference League is diabolical. So, yeah, Spurs are in some issues. And if they do fall out of the Big Six this season, then next season, unless Chelsea have another shit season or Liverpool, they're going to be out of the top 6. So maybe you're right, Bilal. Maybe you're seeing something. Maybe you are Houdini. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and obviously for me, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm a hater of Tottenham. But for me, I've never seen them as a serious club. I know the last few, Daniel Levy came out the other day saying, we've had a few great years. We finished above Arsenal a few times, and yeah, we've won it all. This was literally what he was kind of saying, and the Tottenham fans as well were getting annoyed with him because that's not a trophy, right? Finishing above the worst Arsenal team of the last 20, 30 years. It's like, well done, you've accomplished something. But yeah, with Tottenham, I don't know where they go from here. For me, they should have sold Kane when they had a chance to Man City. That was the time to get the money. Go again, rebuild. Don't be scared to change, right? Because you look at teams like Napoli, who had to sell the lights. Well, Koulibaly went, Insigne went, Mertens went, and they, revitalized themselves. Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia. Why couldn't have Tottenham done something like that? Instead, they're like, Kane, we have to keep him because he's the only hope of us being relevant. And that's what it feels like. And that's why even now this summer, they're probably going to keep Kane hostage. I know Man United are probably going to be interested, but I doubt Man United will be able to buy him. because of the way Daniel Levy's going to be with Kane. He's going to hold him there. He's going to keep him there. And for me, it just screams of desperation and a team that at this point, listen, they've done well in terms of the stadium. It looks nice. It's big. You can use it for F1, for boxing, for MMA, for Beyonce, for everything, but not for football. But yeah, I don't know. Tottenham as a football club, as a top club in England, I just don't think it's going to happen, to be honest, especially with the likes of Newcastle now, with the money they have, with the fans they have, the history they have. Even I know they haven't won trophies, but in the Premier League, we know Newcastle as a team that's serious, even though, as I said, they ain't won nothing. But yeah, Michael, I don't know what you thought about that game, and where do you see Tottenham going from here?
In terms of the game, I couldn't even load up my stream. Newcastle already scored. I didn't have my stream up. It was 2-0 already. Yo, the accounts on Twitter that posted goals, center goals, Eurofoot, whatever, they couldn't post the goals because they were happening so quick. They had they couldn't catch up. It was Murphy. Willock is delivering assist of the season. It was going crazy. But nah. First, and also that lineup made me laugh. A Poro, Perisic, Romero, Dyer back four might be the worst starting back four I've ever seen in Premier League history. You have two wing backs playing fullback, and you have Eric Dyer, who shouldn't be a professional footballer. No disrespect to him anymore. And Christian Romero, Balan knows me because I talked about it on Eurostars. That is one of the most overrated center backs in world football. He is only good because he's rash on the ball. He's rash in defending. Like, he'll slide in and do the nice little tough guy challenges. Other than that, he's not good at anything. But no, that team is atrocious. And I think you mentioned it to Sani. Is this the beginning of the end for Big Six? That game was the passing of the torch in a sense for the Big Six. Newcastle said, we're here to take your sixth spot, I guess, because they're the sixth-ranked club. And soon enough, Newcastle might come to all of us and say, we're coming for your chain too. It might end up happening that way because that team is scary. Isaac, he has 10 goals in 12, 13 games. Let me tell you something. Arteta, he has something cooking because he wanted Isaac as number one target. I promise you, if you had that guy instead of Mr. Gabriel Jesus, you might actually win the league this season, but you don't have him.
Don't remind me. I want my cousin Isaac. That's my guy, man.
Bruno G, fantastic. Bro, Fabian Shaw had 2 assists. Wasn't the last time you seen a center back have 2 assists in the game? That's crazy numbers, man. That's just insane. They're an insane team, and they're coming for everyone. And for Spurs, they're gonna have to watch their ex at Chelsea. Maybe succeed with them now. If they get Nagelsmann, they have a shot. But I don't know if Daniel Levy can convince Nagelsmann. And also Harold Kane. It is time to accept your destiny. Manchester Red are calling your name. Come over here, break your Premier League record, and learn what it takes to win a trophy. Because my God, I'm seeing people on Twitter gas up Jamie Vardy, who scored his second goal of the season, and say it was a bigger goal than anything Harry Kane has scored all year. It's time for you to shine, bro. You got to go somewhere else. Hand in the transfer request. Tell Daniel Levy to do whatever he needs to do because I've already heard Levy quote 100 million for Premier League clubs, which is going to be hard enough as itself, while 80 mil. So unless he wants to go Bayern, but I don't think he wants to leave the country because he wants that Shearer record, what better place to break than the biggest club in England and win for Man United. So that's my transfer pitch to Harry Kane. Time for him to accept his destiny. Kim Min-sun, time for you to go back to Bundesliga. Cook over there. They just need to rip that whole team apart. Anyone that is 26, 27 years and older at Spurs needs to leave that football club. That's what they need to do. Bring in Nagelsmann, go sign some young talents, and then just for 2 years, just regroup. Even if you miss out on Europe, just restart. And then what they do with Poch, and maybe you could come back because right now this thesis ethos that Spurs have ain't gonna do nothing. Because forget about Newcastle, Brighton have a better model than Spurs right now. For them, who else? Brentford have a better ethos.
Yeah, you know what? If I was Spurs, I would take leaf out of the book of my biggest rivals, Arsenal. It's go get rid of all of these guys, these big names, and restart. Start with a project manager like a Nagelsmann and let him cook slowly. Be patient with him, just like Arsenal with Arteta. A lot of people question Arteta at the beginning, and now you see the fruits of the patience that Arsenal was showing in him because they believed. Those people in the background believed in Arteta, and so they need something very similar to that if they can get Nagelsmann or the Sporting Lisbon manager. Yeah, I'll start with someone young that's got the energy and the foresight to try and rebuild this team in his image. and be patient upon that. You might be a laughing stock for another. Well, you've always been a laughing stock, but yeah, you can take it for another 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, 100%. As Michael said, listen, Kane, he's got to leave at this point because it's true. Like, if Kane finishes his career at Tottenham, doesn't win anything, you're not going to watch a documentary on Harry Kane, but I'm going to watch a documentary on Jamie Vardy, his come up, how he went through the leagues, how he won the Premier League with Leicester, the FA Cup. I'm going to be watching that kind of documentary. I'm not going to want to sit there, watch Harry Kane. Yeah, he scored a lot of goals, but didn't win anything in the end. And to be honest, it's a shame. He has to win. Not want him to win a few trophies, as an Arsenal fan, but his talent deserves trophies because he is that good. He's definitely one of the best strikers we've seen in the last 20 years. I could put him above so many strikers, but I can't because of the lack of silverware.
Well, he didn't want it though. That's the thing. You have to see if a player is not ambitious and doesn't. He had the opportunity when Man City started calling. He knew, what legacy are you trying to protect at Tottenham? You have no legacy there. There is no legacy. I don't know why you were so hell-bent in the Tottenham fans loving you, because there's nothing there you've done for them apart from score goals. Whoop-de-doo, you'll be on I don't know, they don't do DVDs anymore. Maybe like a YouTube compilation of all these goals. That's it. He should have stuck with his guns and refused to turn up. At the end of the day, this is your legacy, your career, and you should have taken it seriously.
Yeah, no, 100%. Tottenham is one of those ones. It's a tough situation for them. I don't really see how they get out of this situation easily, right? Or at least get back to what they had with Poch. Nagelsmann for me is the best shout. Apparently, he's open, maybe to even joining Tottenham if they give him some assurances that he's going to be the guy. They're going to give him time. He's going to be able to put in his philosophy, and transfers aren't going to be something like at Chelsea where they just bring a bunch of players and he doesn't even know about it. So let's see what they do. But yeah, Newcastle hit Tottenham for 6 and took their big 6 chain. It's long days for them, man. But man, let's get into the main event, man. The main event of the evening. And that's man, I'm not looking forward to this game, man. Man City, Arsenal. This is even the predicted lineups, man. Look at this, man. Number 16, number 5, number 9. I'm not happy with this team, man. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, what can we do? Someone start off. Noor, man, give me some positivity to start with before I start crying, man.
Well, I won't start off with some positivity. I'll start off with a few questions. Like, I know Arsenal fans around the Twitter sphere and social media in general have literally ganged up on my man Holding. I don't know what specific mistake that this guy has done for Arsenal to come on his case, because it's not him who's missing these chances. It's not him who's passing the ball to bloody attackers for them to concede. Why is Holding being held to ransom here?
Because he's not holding the defense at all. 2 seasons in a row. 2 seasons in a row, he's ruined my season. Last season, top 4. We go to Tottenham. The guy, every time he faces a big striker, even if you guys go back here, I recommend just watch the first half of Man City Arsenal FA Cup, right? Because he played that first 45 minutes against Haaland. I've never seen someone strip like that on TV. He was shook of Haaland. Like, he was, bro. And then he did the same thing last season against Heung-min Son, got a red card. This guy's untrustworthy, man. And the build-up, everything just dies with him in the team. So, yeah, for me, Holding, since Holding has come in, Arsenal have gone from, the second best team in terms of XG against to now the 19th worst team. And listen, I'm happily blaming it all on him. I don't care what anyone else says. In terms of the defense, I'm blaming it all on him. But that doesn't take away, because there's certain other guys in this team. If you guys want to let me go, I'll just say it. Number 5, I saw certain man phoning the police. I don't want to say no more, but certain man were phoning the police because of what kind of idiot, yeah? Free shoots. Do you see, bro? I against Southampton, like, what's wrong with this guy?
No, listen.
That was an Naby moment.
No, I'm going to come to his defense here, because you know what he saw, right? He saw Vincent Kompany versus Leicester, and he thought, hey, listen, this is for me to, established that without this shot,
He
Arsenal ain't got
hasn't
a
got the
hope.
capacity. He hasn't got the capacity for that. Bro, keep the pressure on. Like last few minutes of the game, 3-3. The last thing Southampton want is for us to keep the ball at that stage and work the ball into the box. Instead, you've given them a gift. Imagine how they felt when he just hoofs it over the bar. Like whatever I'm feeling, the opposite. It must have been so over the moon. And then number 9. Oh, mate, this guy.
Yo, can I cook him first?
Yeah, you go on number 9. I'm
Bro,
going on him.
what that post presser on Friday was one of the most embarrassing post pressers I've ever seen in my life. This guy's talking about we're not experienced. Where's the experience? My brother, you are the 4-time Premier League champion. You are a Centurion, by the way. You scored the goal to secure the Centurion season. You're meant to be the leader. I'm seeing Zinchenko gather the huddles. Why are you not gathering the huddles in the attack? And you're missing sitters. This guy's XG is on by like 25 in his Premier League career. Bro, yeah, and I was told he's the system. That's what Arsenal fans told me. He is the system. But they're blaming Holding for the system failing. The system is meant to be Gabriel Jesus, and he's not holding the system up. Where is the system? Yeah. The young guns, Martinelli has been stepping up. He's in playoff run mode, and he's stepping up. He's a real Brazilian in that team. It ain't Gabriel Jesus. And now I know why Flamengo fans were cooking Gabriel Jesus during the World Cup in his comments. They were cooking him like, this guy's not better than Gabigol. I get it now. When it's time for him to step up, he ain't there. That's embarrassing, man. He shouldn't start tomorrow. I would have started him tomorrow.
This is
I'll put him right back. Where's Omar? He said it here. You go right back. You're not a striker, brother. You're not a striker. That's what I have to say on him.
Can I ask Bilal? Can I ask you this question? Yeah, with regards to Arsenal's dip in form the last three games, where you let a 2-goal slip at Anfield, 2-goal slip at West Ham, and then you go 2-0 down against the bottom club, Aston Villa. Now, before that, I believe it was Trossard. Was he your best player for March?
That's my guy. Trossard.
And then Jesus comes back from injury and automatically just takes over what Trossard was doing. And has this destabilized your attack? Because what I've seen from Jesus here, although he's very talented, I love the guy. Yeah? He's a very talented footballer. Sometimes I'm seeing him coming all the way down to the DM position to pick up football. What are you doing there?
Yeah, no, for me, that's wrong by Arteta, like just to put Jesus straight in the team. But obviously he's done it because he's the guy he spent the money on. He's the guy who, he's that guy for him who he spent all that money on, the contract, the wages. He's the main guy. He's a number 9. He brought him from Man City to be the main guy, man. But you know what it is? For me, I look at what he's done with Trossard and it's wrong because he was literally, for me, I crowned him the best January signing we've ever made in my lifetime, right? I've seen the likes of Arshavin come in January, was all right. I've seen bums like Kim Kallstrom. I've seen Dennis Suarez play for 20 minutes. Let me respect Kim Kallstrom. He got an FA Cup in the end, yeah. But Dennis Suarez played for like 20 minutes for no reason. He just came because Unai Emery liked him, But Trossard is actually a player who we looked at when he was in Belgium. We were linked with him then. He went to Brighton. Now he's come to Arsenal. Proper footballer. He saw what he done. He can play left wing. He's played left centre mid. He's played right wing. He's played up front. He's played all these positions and he's delivered. But for me, the main thing about Jesus, if Arteta's going to put you in the team, that means you got to start scoring goals when I need you to score. And every time this guy gets a big chance, mate, he misses it. I don't fancy him in any one-on-one. You can dribble all you like. I need a goal. What are you doing?
It's that Joao Felix syndrome. I get it.
Yeah, bro, like, what's this guy like? Does he leave the game thinking, 10 dribbles completed today, I've had a great game? Mate, you've got the number 9 on your back. He's the opposite to Lacazette. I realized this the other day. Lacazette was slow at times, like he was like lethargic. He couldn't really get around. He would try, it'd be a bit difficult. But when Lacazette had a chance, more often than not, it's going to be on target. It's going to be a proper shot. It's going to go in. With Jesus, it's opposite. He can move. He can dribble. He can get past his man. But you give him a chance. Even this header, do you see one of these headers against Southampton? Like, what is? He's not a striker, man. Go right back, man. Go right back. But let me look at this. Let me look at these comments here, man. Pixelated Pigeon says confidence below Arsenal winning this. Jesus, Yeah, Jesus.
You never know, man. Yo, it's a script. Yo, we've seen a lot of old players dunk on their former teams. You saw it on Friday. Theo Walcott came and dunked on you, so you never know, man.
Walcott, another player. Look at his finishing compared to Jesus. Night
Oh
and
my
day,
God.
mate. No, but Walcott's a shooter,
Wally
man.
Walcott, man.
No. Walcott is a driller compared to Jesus. Couldn't even lace his boots, mate. And then what Zuberi here saying, guess we celebrating second place with no trophies these days. Man, you having a better season. Bro, I'm not celebrating second place, bro. I'll keep that real. If Man United win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup and finish third and we finish second, I know who's had a better season, and it's not us.
Respect to that.
Exactly. Omar says here, number 5 deserves his downfall. Yeah, man, get him out of here. He ain't quite Bobby Firmino. Facts, Jesus and Party let them down. And then again, Zub here saying, to think Brazil as a nation rate Richarlison over Jesus is proof enough. And
uncomfortable conversations.
Listen, Michael was right, man. Every Brazil international game, Gabriel Jesus is trending for the wrong reason.
Bro, them Flamengo fans hate him.
Yeah, I thought they hate him just because of Gabby goal. Obviously, didn't get called up in that, but nah, they know more. They know more than me. But Sani, have you got anything positive to say about Arsenal? Is there any way we can beat Man City tomorrow, man? Is there any way?
Listen, I'm hoping, I'm praying. You know, Jesus is there, Buddha, Vaiguru, you know, Ram, Allah, whoever you believe in, even if you don't believe anyone, we are praying that Arsenal win. I'm not even an Arsenal fan. I'm just hoping Arsenal win, like Michael, because we do not want Manchester City winning the league. Listen, the omens don't look well. We haven't won there since 2015. I think it's like 14 meetings now at the Etihad. You haven't actually beaten them. It's not looking good. But if anyone can pull out a result, I don't even know why I'm chatting. I'm just chatting complete shit because I can't see it, man. I can't see. I hope you guys do it. I don't know why. I can see a world where you win 2-1 and there's absolute scenes in the away end, but I just can't see it, man. I think
I don't even trust Arsenal to win tomorrow, not bottle it. That's the worst.
Arsenal have to win.
We can't trust us.
There's no if buts or maybe. It's not even like, oh, if Arsenal get a draw, Arsenal have to win tomorrow because if you guys draw, you'll still be 5 points ahead. And I know people are saying, okay, fine, it's not the same as points. But realistically, it is expected for City to win those 2 games in hand and they'll be 1 point above you. So Arsenal have to win this game. It is a must-win game. There's no draw. There's no wins. Sorry, there's no losses. It has to be a win. So listen, it's the master versus the apprentice. Maybe the apprentice can finally usurp him. But I think, unfortunately, City are going to win this game, which it pains me to say it, but I think they're going to do it.
Oh, man, for me, yeah, I don't know. You can't trust us. There's not, you know, when you say there's any team in the world could turn up, it's us. No, that's not. We're not that kind of club. When things are going well for us, things go well. When things go wrong for us, things go wrong. And tomorrow, I've been feeling like 4-1 smashing, man. I don't know. I'm worried for us. I'm worried that we're gonna get battered. And we're like, I don't know. What can we stop? How do we stop Haaland? Like, imagine Grealish and Haaland. Did you watch that goal against Sheffield United? Well, the Mahrez goal against Sheffield United. The way
Which
the
one?
defenders, the one he just ran past everyone, ran through the middle. These defenders are shook of Haaland. And you think Holding is a big scaredy cat, man. He is gonna be running just like them Sheffield defenders, man.
Yeah.
They have no Ake though. So that's the one bright thing that you have going for you.
Yeah. But saying that, it was Bernardo that was playing left back when they won at
That was
Emirates.
mad. That was mad. But you know the only thing I will say, and just to add to it, City haven't actually lost a game since I think the 5th of February when they lost to Spurs. They've either drawn or won every game. So they actually haven't lost in months. So if there is a game that they do lose, please be this one.
Oh, man. They're just monsters. I'll try and find the lineup for when we played them. Like
you got feel for Holding because he knows he hasn't got the pace to keep up with Haaland. So he has to drop off. He can't stay tight on Haaland, and Haaland can easily roll him. And if he does, then it's over. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be an interesting game, but I have to, I have to dig out the Premier League for putting on Liverpool and some of the other top 6 teams at the same time as this game, which was a little bit of a piss take because I wanted to enjoy this game without any distractions. And now I'm going to have to watch 2 games simultaneously. and hopefully the Liverpool game, it's not too dramatic and it can be done easily. And
Bro,
so I can.
in America, they're not even showing it on TV. You have to watch it on the streaming service.
How come?
They put it on Peacock. They said you gotta pay to watch this game.
Oh, so kind of like Amazon or something.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man City ain't got that pull. I'm blaming Man City for this one. They ain't got the pull to get it on TV, man.
Yeah, they ain't got that pull. Yeah, wait till that Etihad's rocking tomorrow. Yeah, you're gonna get shook, bro. That stadium, bro. As much as we told them, big games. Etihad is rocking when it comes to big games. They don't lose big games over there. It ain't looking good.
Away from home, Arsenal going up north. It's just a recipe for disaster. Like everything is just like, honestly, like even if it wasn't Man City, even if it was Everton, and I'm hearing this kind of thing, I've got no faith, man. Even look at this last lineup; it's pretty much similar to obviously what we've. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Kyle Walker, he might play. You know, Martinelli, the pace, that might be something Pep does. You know, but for me, I just look at Arsenal right now, and I just don't see a way. And there's even talks now about Xhaka potentially being a doubt in this game. So I don't know what Arteta is going to do if Xhaka's not fit as well. I don't know, man.
Fabio Vieira is not ready for this game. No chance. That guy is
21.
not ready for
I
this.
forgot about 21. 21. Yo, prison as well for him, man. That guy, 35 million pounds. What a waste of money. Well, I'm sorry, that's a waste of money because 35 million
is he better than this? Is he better than ESR?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
No, he's not better. He's not better than Smith Rowe. He's not.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Why is Smith Rowe not playing? Like, is he injured or something?
Yeah, and I think Arteta just thinks he's crooked. He just don't want to risk him, or he's
that's
not
why
happy with
that's
him.
why the Mason Mount links came out first.
Yeah, I think that's the reason, and maybe his energy. Because Smith Rowe, whenever we played him in the midfield, he's never done well. He's always because he's not got the legs.
Yeah, I hear you.
But if you let him float around in the left wing like number 10, yeah, he's cooking. But Fabio Vieira, for me, weak. Yeah, he got a nice shot once in a blue moon. Your best game was against Brentford away. But apart from that, whenever we've needed him, really, I've not seen anything. And I don't see how we stop Man City at all. The lights are, listen, we're going to Man City again with the bench striker. Jesus was even a bench striker. He was playing right wing half the time. He wasn't even starting. So I think that just says it all. I think we've done well to get to this position, but in the summer, hopefully, we regroup and address a few positions that we need, man. Because, yeah, it's not looking good. Pixelated Pigeon here saying, "What about the Pep versus Arteta dynamic? Is there much of a dynamic here, guys? It's just a game at the end of the day.
It's a mismatch. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a mismatch.
Yeah, there's nothing Arteta can really do with especially with the players he has available. I don't think it's a surprise.
Nah. You got to coach, bro. Nah. If someone goes out, you got to know how to coach. You can't only have your best players. You got to be able to adapt. There ain't no excuse, man. Maybe not for the City game. Not for the City game. I mean, that's obviously tough. No, Saliba, but against West Ham and Southampton, bro. Last year you won those games with Saliba being on loan to Marseille. You won with Rob Holding. No excuse, bro. He's got to coach. To be an elite coach, which we all consider Arteta to be, or a top coach, you got to be able to be adaptable. Because I'm not saying Ten Hag's a better coach, but I'm seeing, bro, we have no center back pairing. Luke Shaw left center back fits in really well. Dowell's playing left back when he hasn't played that position in 2 years. You got to be able to adapt, because if you can't adapt, come next year when you're going to be playing UCL football, you're going to be able to need to adapt in those kind of games. Because when you go to Serbia away, you're not going to be able to do the same tiki-taka stuff. You got to adapt. So Arteta, it's time for you to coach, because plan A is not working. And to be a top coach, you got to have a plan B. So what's his plan B going to be tomorrow? Because I'm sure Pep has a plan for his plan A. And we saw it at the Emirates. Arteta's plan A was great for 45 minutes. But then Pep came up with his plan B. Arteta didn't come up with a plan B. So if you want to win this league, your plan B better be just as good as plan A. And for me, personally, I don't think it's as good as his plan A. So it's looking like City are just going to take us away. And the inexperience got to Arsenal. And Arteta, it's a good learning experience in the summer. Come up with a plan B and attacking next year again.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think Arteta, that his biggest weakness is that in-game management. The in-game management is so poor. Like every single game, subs are either too late, subs are wrong. You know,
they're pre-planned. They're just pre-planned. They look pre-planned to me.
Him and his assistant with Airport Albert, man, like they cook up something, man. Cook up, like they've not cooked up anything. Like they've not controlled any game. Like especially those two games, Liverpool and West Ham. Those are criminal games when you think about it. But obviously Southampton was even How did you make it even worse? That's what how that should have been a simple. We wake up. Shaka's talking the week before. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna come and smash Southampton. I'm like, go on then, do it. And just
To be fair, your goalie did give up a goal in the first 30 seconds of the game, and there's not much planning you could do for that.
Yeah, and at this point, exactly. And the only way for me, for us to win the league was to keep that points gap, because if we ever face Man City 1-on-1, we can't handle them. Like we can't. We're not on their level. But if we had the points gap, then maybe we could have done something. MJ here saying, Bilal, copying please now. He's talking very spicy for a long time. No foresight. We all told you about your team. You don't win titles. Free Man said, listen, what team do you support? State your team. State your team first before you come with all this chest as well, man. But yeah. Emery here saying, my advice for Arsenal was just don't keep the ball. Listen, the only time we beat Pep is in the FA Cup semi-final. Park the bus, Tierney smashing it to Aubameyang, and that got us a goal. But you see the difference is Aubameyang, world-class striker. 1 goal, 1 chance. If I play counter-attack with Jesus, it's pointless. This is a pointless activity because I give him the chance. It's not going in. So we're going to have to find a way to tap the ball into the back of the net. But
no, it's going to have to be down to Martinelli and Saka stepping up. That the way they've been all season, they got to step. They just got to continue it.
Arteta again. Why is he always subbing off Martinelli? That's our best player right now. He's always the first sub off. Respect him. Respect my guy. Because he's the only one who's shown me he's a big player. Him and Saka. Like in terms of an Odegaard to an extent. But Odegaard
I'm not talking about that guy. No. That guy ain't no big game player. Let me just say, on Friday against Southampton, Romeo Lavia was locking him up until he got subbed off. And then Garcelle Lavia gets subbed off. Oh, let me cook now. Let me get that goal. Nah, bro. He ain't ready for it. He's
doing all of this.
He's created like 3 big chances in 2023, by the way. Since the turn of the calendar year. He's only created 3 big chances.
Uncomfortable conversations.
I don't know, man. He doesn't, he's not like an Ozil where it's just like a chance.
He's a captain, bro. Captain your team.
Listen, man. Listen, Odegaard, I love him, so I'm not going to say anything bad.
How old is Odegaard now?
24, I think. 24? Yeah, it must be 24 around there.
Yeah.
Maybe getting on to 25, but yeah, man, listen, for me, Odegaard, I'm more than happy with this season, so I'm not going to really complain about him, to be honest. MJ here says, I support man. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Carabao Cup. Man City, watch. If you know Man City beat Arsenal, right? I'm supporting them to win the treble, by the way. I'm just getting that out there.
Look at this guy, bro. Nah, look at this guy, man. Nah, look at this guy. Look at this guy, bro.
Outside of Arsenal winning, my next favorite activity is Man United losing. So,
bro, Man City are coming for your chain. Yo, you talk about Arsenal. Yo, they're coming for your chain. That's what we talk about. Newcastle coming for chains. Man City coming for all y'all chains. Let them win a treble. What is that going to be? What is it going to be? Like 6-7 Premier Leagues, like 3 for Arsenal?
Bro, it's already gone. In terms of Prems, it's gone. They're never getting invincible, so I'm good with
You don't want them to win that Champions League, though, because that's the only thing you're on par with them right now, is that Champions League. You both haven't won it.
I don't know, Man City fan, so I'm good.
Look at this guy, bro. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, man.
It's true. It's true, but they're coming.
Chelsea have survived. Chelsea have 2 I'm still alive. I'm breathing. But Man City, if they win it, doesn't do much,
you won't feel it now, but I'm starting to see like the local kids in the area with Man City top, so they're coming, man. They're coming. 10 more
15, 20 years, our football debates are finished. 15, 20 years, I'm not talking about football anymore. What team do you support? Arsenal. Ew, Man City fans. I'm like, yo, go away. Kevin here saying, Bilal, do you wish you guys sit in Europa as it looks unlikely? For me, I wish we were in the cups, not Europa, but I'm. Still
I was about to say. Don't say about because you were the leading candidate of get Arsenal out of Europa.
But the thing is, the Europa did its damage anyway.
I get it.
How did I not want to be in it? We get knocked out, but even though we got knocked out, the thing that I didn't want to happen happened.
Yo, it's the same with me. Honestly, we had the same issue here. I got knocked out and I lost to Sandro Martinez for nothing. I lost him for nothing. I lost him against Sevilla. You lost Saliba against Sporting, and his is even worse because he's got a back injury. Which, by the way, I don't get why there's even doubts of him playing. Bro, this guy should get shut down for the rest of the season. He shouldn't even touch a football pitch because that back injury. Sonny will agree with me. Marcus Rashford, bro, that back injury is a serious thing, and even Marcus Rashford is cooking right now. We've seen the effects of that pace loss, and we saw it with Rio Ferdinand as well. That was an injury that kind of crocked his career. So that back injury is something serious to worry about.
Do not rush him back.
They won't. I think he's been out for the season.
Yeah, he's
but
not
they
playing.
just-
They're
They're just giving us a bit of fake hope. What's the point? Just tell me, it's they know if we know that Holding is playing every game, we're gonna lose it, and it's one of those ones. Even
look at it. Bring my guy Rob Holding, man. All that guy did was go Turkey, got a new hairline, and just try to play for Arsenal. That's all he's trying to do, man.
Listen, he should. Him, Callum Chambers should have left together. You know what? Callum Chambers is better than him. Let me respect Chambers. He's good at football. But yeah, man. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about here? MJ, I'll let you get this comment in. Arsenal, now go away, man. I'm not letting you get that. I'm a generation. Of course, when it comes to Man United, I'm a generational hater. Can we give Leyton Orient a shout out for winning League Two? By the way, anyone care about Leyton Orient? No.
Good for them though. I heard Gary Neville got cooked for it because I think he fired their manager from Salford, and that's the guy that managed Leyton Orient. I think Burnley won their championship today too on Blackburn the ground, so they're up. What's that? Ryan Reynolds club, Wrexham. Yeah,
Wrexham.
They got promoted as well.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah, I saw it. The man's golfing with Gareth Bale trying to tamper a little bit, but nah.
I'll tell you what, for people who are watching, I reckon tune into the championship playoff race. 5th spot and 6th spot aren't so.
I got 2 dogs in there, man. Yo, all I want is the Ahmad versus Michael Carrick championship final for that 3rd playoff spot. I win no matter what.
I mean, currently Sunderland is 6th, so he's still on, but. You know, Millwall could make the playoffs, which I imagine.
Ain't no one trying to see Millwall in the Premier League, man.
West Brom could make the playoffs.
Now, the worst thing is Luton Town. Yo, no disrespect to any Luton Town fans out there, but who really wants to see Luton Town in the Premier League?
I don't know if you've ever seen their stadium. If you ever go,
I've seen it. We played there. We played there before. We played there. I think 2021, the Carabao Cup, like the 3rd round. Well, that stadium's atrocious, man. Nah, who should have played there?
There's a stand right next to a house. It's literally someone's back garden.
Oh, Sunderland. We need some. Look, Stadium of Light. That's a big stadium.
Luton, all right. They can play in Stadium MK, Milton Keynes. You know, if they
that's a big race. Big race that is. Championship race.
Yeah, the championship is always crazy, man. Coventry as well, 5th. Mad. Okay,
yeah, they could still drop out. It's there's some big games like that. Last game of the season, Blackburn have got Millwall. Coventry have got. I think they've got Sheffield United. Listen, some big games, man. It's big games. It's a big race for people to tune into.
I just need something together, bro. I'm out. Yo, we're coming, man. We got robbed, by the way. Yo, they robbed us a young player this season, by the way. This is crazy disrespectful, man.
Oh, they gave it to that one. Alex Scott. Was it Bristol?
Yeah, he's a baller, bro. Yo, he's not Ahmad.
Millwall, West Ham in the Premier League. That Millwall against,
Crystal
Spurs.
Palace, right? Isn't it Crystal Palace?
No,
West doesn't need Millwall in the Premier League.
They were in the Championship about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and they had to lock off. They had to restrict the amount of West Ham fans that could go Millwall, and then the amount of Millwall fans that could go West Ham. It was mental.
The Green Street films that are gonna come out, it's gonna be generational. If this starts coming out, like no, we can't be having Millwall back. This is gonna take English football. Now you know what? If you say that to Millwall fans, they'll say, "Why are you stereotyping?" Nah, okay, I understand. I'll leave them alone. I'd like to see Blackburn. You know, if they could do it, I don't know. Is that possible? Yeah, Blackburn. I don't know. Pedersen FC. But yeah, exactly, man. But anyway, guys, I think we should just wrap it up there. It's been a good episode of Premier League Khanage. A lot to speak about. Tomorrow, we should be bringing you guys a reaction as well. Hopefully, after the game, we've got Man City, Arsenal, we've got West Ham, Liverpool, big games in the Premier League. And then Thursday, I believe we'll probably be doing Eurostars as well. So busy week, busy schedule. But yeah, guys, man, we're back with you guys next time. Peace.